Hello everyone, I'm Professor Mehta. I'm welcoming you to the session of SolidWorks, in which this particular session we will going to discuss about two commands which is related to three-dimensional drawing or modeling of our component. In this particular session, we will going to discuss about two commands. One is extrude, which is providing three-dimensional multi-view or three-dimensional shape to our component, as well as the same command to remove particular material from our part. So for that, I have taken one part which is having this two types of command to make that part possible. So let's look into this element of R which we are going to design. This is particular element where we can see a profile or sectional profile for that particular part. Here we have this sectional part which is having a length of 140 mm and height of 100 mm, and which is also we can see from this particular section where it is having a circular profile for this part from the side. So what we have to do is we have to extend a part. What we are going to do in this particular session, we will going to have extension of this part from this side of a extrude which is having solid circular shaft. Then we will provide two holes. One is of a diameter of 60 for a depth of 40, and another from this profile we will having a diameter of 20 and depth of 120 from this space. For this, I will going to draw a circle. I will select first of all, I will select a part, and as we know that we will going to follow a step-by-step procedure to draw a sketch for this part. To have this, first of all, enable your all of three plane from our view. Then select a plane. I'm selecting the front plane and selecting a sketch from this particular bar. Okay, from this bar, command bar, I will selecting a sketch. This is providing me a two-dimensional view for my front view. Then I will have a circle from origin, as I have told or as we have discussed in a previous session. Why I am selecting each and every part from this particular origin, because of I want to have that fully constrained component which I am having. Here you can see from this particular column where it is having a dimension in this front plane, which is x is equals to 0 and y is equals to 0. So we can say that the origin of our circle is exactly at 0 0 for this particular plane. So center is at our origin, and diameter, or you here in this case we can see the radius of this particular circle is 26. Now from this diagram, we can say the external diameter of this particular part is 100 mm. So to have that 100 mm diameter, we will put the radius of 50 mm. After providing this radius of 50 mm, I will provide this two-dimensional drawing and convert this two-dimensional drawing into three-dimensional one, which is having a length of, which is provided in this particular section, the length of 140 mm. So how we are going to perform this length? Before getting into this length, we should know about this three-dimensional feature of our SolidWorks. So here you can see there are multiple three-dimensional features. Let's understand those multiple three-dimensional feature one by one. Let's get out of this sketch. Clear? So I'm existing from this sketch, and we can see after existing from the sketch, we can see there are multiple options I'm having here. First is extrude or a boss extrude. This extrude or boss extrude, you can see here in this animation, you can provide any two-dimensional entity in three-dimensional thickness. This is nothing but extruding your component in any of the direction. This extrude provides you multiple options to have the direction of your component in one side or another. Another part is to have revolve. Here you can see in the animation, by revolving the part around some particular axis, you can generate a section of one component which is having a three-dimensional entity in 360 degree. So first you have to design a fourth quadratic section of that particular section, then selecting an axis around that particular section, and ultimately you can provide by providing that 360 degree revolve, you can provide that solid space for your component. This option or this command we will learn in next session. Then a sweep boss. Sweep is a special kind of revolve, or you can say sweep is a special kind of command which will provide us a different kind of shape which is following particular path from a way. If you have to design this particular command will going to use in when you are dealing with a component which is having a pipe, which is kind of a pipe, or you can say a section which is following some particular path. Then lofted boss or lofted base. This is a type of a command. Here you can see a material between two or more profile. If your component has different profile at different distance, like if it is having a circle at one place, square at a different, rectangle at a different place, and you have to connect them all with a single entity, then you can provide this particular command or feature. Here, this boundary boss, it is profile of two direction to create a solid feature by using a boundary as a property, like only on a boundary here rather than only on a total component. So these are the different command or feature we are going to use in this particular the main, or you can say core feature of our three-dimensional view. Other than that, we can have extrude cut, which is others or flip operation of your extrude boss. Hole, which we can provide different types of hole from this hole wizard. Then revolve cut, which is another opposite of our revolve, in which revolve is creating a path. In revolve cut, it will removing the path. Sweep cut, it is opposite of sweep boss. Loft cut, it is opposite of lofted boss, and boundary cut is opposite of boundary cut. This fillet is providing a fillet to the edge which is provided to three-dimensional entity. Other than that, there are linear pattern, rib, draft, and shell which we have to provide for particular operation and particular model. We will going to learn each and every component in a next session. So right now, let's get into the extruded boss. Now for extruded boss, we have to select one for boss, we have to select one entity. We have selected the circle. Now, provide that extruded boss. We will provide this command extruded boss to this particular circle. Now, you can see in three dimension, it is having a thickness in one side. Now, from this particular section, you can select a plane. Here we have selected sketch plane. In some of the cases, you have to select different planes from offset plane or surface, fillets, or any other we will use in different occasions. Now you can have another options which is providing direction to our circle. In this case, first one is blind, which is having only one-sided thickness. Some cases vertex, surface. If it is having surface at a different condition, then we can have that. If it is a surface of a different component, then we can have that up to the body. If it is also having another body inside this, but in most of the cases we will going to use when we are extruding this and it is a single entity, we will going to use a mid plane to facilitate it at the both the side of our front plane, because it will going to provide us our origin at the center of our component. Now as we have seen in this particular diagram, that it is having a thickness or a length of 140 mm. So I will provide thickness of 140 mm, which will be at both the sides, 70 70 70 in one section, 70 in another section. So ultimately the length of this will going to be a 140 mm. To mark up or evaluate this length, we can easily evaluate it from measuring this component by having the measurement tab in this particular area. So here you can see the diameter is 100, area is something, and perimeter is something. Here you can see the diameter, area, and perimeter. So these are the different component you can evaluate from this measurement. Here you can see our component which is made up by Boss Extrude. Here this is our component which will be having a different cut inside it. So now let's provide cut inside it. So from this particular diameter, we can diagram we can see the first cut, which is bigger in diameter, which is having 60 diameter and having a depth of 40 from the one face side. So let's move into that. So one face side, I'm selecting this face. Now you can have multiple selection while designing this. If I want to have this hole, I can place another plane at particular face, but here you can the easy process is to select the face, and this to select that drawing on this particular face only, I will select the face and then I will select a command called normal to. So by selecting a normal to, it will provide me a sketch on this particular surface only. If I am not going to select this normal to, then the my next sketch will only on my front plane rather than this particular surface. So after selecting the face, I will select normal to. It will take me into two-dimensional drawing, and this drawing will going to be on only my face of that previous component. Now we know that the diameter of that particular hole is 60 So I will provide 30 radius to this hole, and I will provide yes. And then I will go for a feature called Extruded Cut because I want to provide this hole to my component. Now I want to have this hole to only for some particular distance. So I can't use this hole for throughout the component. So it is only for 40 So we will going to have our hole to just 40 Clear? At the same as our extrude, we can have different commands or different feature for this whole also, like through all, both, up to the next, up to the vertex, up to the surface. If I'm having through all, then it will not going to provide me any kind of option to have that length. It will going to through all this component, and it will only have draft aside. Clear? If I want to have draft inside this particular hole, but for this particular case, I want to have change of direction, so it will only going to have 40 of, or 40 is one side blind hole. Clear? So my component will going to have, or my feature will going to have draft cut of 40 inside my component. Clear? After providing or clicking yes, I can see the whole of 40 inside my component. Now from this particular diagram, we can see another cut which is having a diameter of 20 length of 120 from our edge. So if it is having 120 edge, then it will have a 120 minus 40 is equals to 80 from the hole or cavity which we have created inside. Because for this particular feature, I will going to draw a circle on this surface only. Clear? If you can draw this on this particular plane also, but for having the easier operation, I will draw this for this surface or this particular surface only. So by selecting this surface, I will going to have the command called normal to the surface. Clear? Then I will have a sketch of 20 diameter from my origin. Clear? 20 so 5 its radius 20, sorry, the radius of this particular circle will be 10 because 20 of diameter. Then it's okay. Then go for feature, once again extruded cut, and this case, in this particular case, it will going to have 80 from that particular surface. So ultimately you will going to have this particular extruded cut in one direction or a blind direction of 80 degree. So if you want to check if you are having perfect amount of cut and section, you can see your component in terms of wireframe. Here you can see your component which is having two stepped holes. One is having diameter of 60 and another is having diameter of 20. Clear? So this was our command called extrude. Now in next session, I hope you got each and every point of this particular command very well. In next session, we will going to discuss about command called revolve and sweep boss. So if you are having any doubt regarding to this particular command, you can directly contact me or ask me. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are stopping here.